This is a Simulate Cybersecurity Newscast. I'm Dave Klein. Here's the news for the week. Today, we're all interconnected through technology, and even our buildings are. And if you've been in Asia like I have, you are in awe at the beauty of the architecture, the designs, and how interconnected. How a lot of thoughts have been put into making these buildings a bastion of technology for good purposes, right? Taking the OT control systems that you see in these buildings and making them smart, connected buildings, everything from protection of the environment to making things more human-friendly. This week, a company called Intelligent Buildings announced that there are hackers that are targeting Asian companies and infiltrating their OT devices throughout these buildings. They say they're doing it through the Microsoft Proxy login vulnerability, which has been patched in many situations, but at least 46,000 different places are still unpatched. And so they're taking advantage of this to infiltrate these buildings. So some thoughts about this. Besides my normal, really, there's no reason to run your own Exchange servers anymore. It's much safer to run it as a managed service in the cloud. If you have Microsoft Exchange, you should do a few things. One thing first is you need to move those Exchange servers from being externally facing to the inside of your organization and put an email security gateway out front. If you can't move the Exchange server, at least connect it through a VPN and block untrusted connections on port 443. There was a news story I started following about 2 weeks ago about a hacker named China Dan who was selling about 1 billion Chinese nationals information, PII, criminal background on the darknet. And there was a lot of curiosity of how this person got this information. They claim they got it through the Shanghai Police Department. And this week we found out why. One of the developers of that package for the police department, a government worker, was on a site called CSDN, which is kind of like a GitHub/message board for developers in China. A really neat site. And mistakenly put out some examples of work he or she was working on, and the examples had the username and password right in the code. Oh, that's a facepalm moment. But again, good lessons could be learned from this. Some news on quantum computing this week. For starters, a group in Toronto researching a Borealis chip, a microprocessor built for quantum computing, were able to solve a problem that would take traditional computing 9,000 years to solve in only 36 microseconds. Wow. And that brings up a lot of thoughts about quantum computing. When we think about quantum computing, we're probably 10 to 15 years off before we'll see a mainstream quantum compute technology. However, these chips are being built today, and sooner or later, they'll be good enough to break normal crypto standards and cause a real problem. Some people call this Q day, right? The day that they're able to break all our current existing crypto. Well, there's help on the way. NIST has come out with 4 algorithms to use that are supposedly quantum computing safe. And so what are the thoughts here? The idea is we probably should start inventorying our systems that use crypto, start thinking about ways that we are going to adopt these 4 just released NIST algorithm standards, replacing the existing ones. That will take some work, right? We'll have to QA and make sure we're not going to break anything and things like that. But it's really something that we should start today so we're not surprised when those chipsets are readily available. And that's the newscast for the week. I'll put links to all the stories, to additional articles and tech bulletins you could read. I'm Dave Klein. This is the Simulate Cybersecurity Newscast. Have a great week.